That almost on Friday.
A couple of days.
Tee it up, yeah.
Incredible.
Going to be exciting season. I tell you, good evening, everyone. The high school football season swings into high gear this weekend as the pigskin wars finally get underway. So let's go live to Okemos High School and to Coach Keith Freilich for a look at the Chiefs. Coach, tell us a little bit about your ball club as you're putting the finishing touches on your game plan.
Well, we're just working at it right now, trying to get all the pieces in place, and we got some kids coming back that had some success in the past, and trying to fill in some spots for some graduated seniors. So we're working at it and try to get it all lined up here before Friday night.
Now, one of the key strengths of your ball club has to be the play of quarterback Matt Snyder, who's coming back from an excellent junior year.
Yeah, he had an outstanding year for us and set a school record throwing the ball, throwing touchdown passes for us, and so we're looking for big things from him, and we're working on filling in with some receivers and those kinds of things to make sure we have a balanced attack.
Now, we talked earlier, Andy Wozniak is one of your jack-of-all-trades, a very talented player that plays a number of positions.
Yes, he's done a great job for us. He's been a starter since his freshman year for us, and we play him in all kinds of spots on offense, a little bit at tailback and wide receiver, and even sometimes at tight end, and he's just been an outstanding player for us.
Coach, we've got about 15 seconds left. Talk about the opener on Friday, your opponent coming up.
Well, Holt High School is a traditional opener for us, and it's always a great football game and a great way to kick off the season. We have a lot of respect for them, and they're going to be a good football team and a worthy opponent on Friday night.
Keith, thanks so much for coming on live with us, and good luck to you and the Chieftains the rest of the season.
Thank you, Mark.
Keith Freilich, the head coach at Okemos. Now, the pads go on tomorrow over at Michigan sites. Here's Dave Luciani.
The sights and sounds of another high school football season. It didn't take Okemos long to work the bugs out. Senior quarterback Matt Snyder picked up right where he left off last year. This 30-yard strike to Chad Howes gave the Chieftains a 14-0 first quarter lead. But the Chiefs weren't done yet. Holt turned it over later in the quarter. Greg Michaels picked off the pass. And a few plays later, Snyder went to the air again and hooked up with Jemai Gilbert. Okemos led 21-0 after a quarter and went on to beat the Rams 28-7. Meanwhile, in Hazlet, Viking
news tonight, moving on, high school football began its earliest season ever this evening, and the top area game saw Okemos roll all over arch rival Holt 28-7. Let's go right to Okemos High School, where quarterback Matt Snyder is ready for a big senior season. He had a great first half tonight. Jeff Zeski on the handoff goes in. Okemos with a quick 7-0 lead in this one. Then Snyder went to the air. Great catch here by Jamie Gilbert, 14-yarder, corner of the end zone. At this point, it's 21-0 after the extra point. Jamie says, yeah, man, we knocked it in. Then he goes to Andy Wozniak for a touchdown here. It's 28-0 at the half, 28-7 the final, as Okemos opens up big over Holt tonight. Over at East Lansing, the Trojans and Ann Arbor Pine.
Battle of the century, at least for this week, matches up top-ranked Notre Dame and number 2 Michigan with our TV6 team of the week. So let's beam over to the land of the Chieftains. We're here at Okemos High School in the rain with head coach Keith Freilich. The Chiefs coming off a great victory over Brooklyn Columbia Central, 35-0. The team 2-0 so far this season, and for that we award you our TV6 Team of the Week. Congratulations, Coach.
Well, we appreciate the selection, and it's a good reward for our kids on a good start for the season. We've been awful blessed with a lot of kids that are contributing in a lot of different ways. We added up, and we've got about 25 or 26 kids all playing and being an active part of the team, and I think that's really going to help us in the long run as the season continues.
In hockey, Detroit Red Wings.
The crowd. All right, on your hometown old prep team scoreboard. Here we go. Lansing Catholic beats Eaton Rapids. That is a huge win in that circuit for the Cougars of Phil Booth, 36-29. Okemos over Lakewood, 28-7. Chieftains 3-0. DeWitt Leslie, 46-0. The Panthers.
Our coverage of week 3 of the high school season up in DeWitt, where the undefeated Panthers. And now, for a look at all the action around the mid-Michigan area, it's time to check out our Friday night high school football scoreboard.
Since I got married. Regret win.
Pledge 4-0 with a win at Jackson. Waverly loses its 15th straight over 3 seasons. Eastern a winner tonight. Okemos 4-0 with a win over Eaton Rapids. Charlotte 4-0 a win over Lakewood. Fowlerville shut out Perry. Williamston big over...
evening, everyone, and welcome to Okemos High School, where tonight our matchup on Prep Sports 89 is the Okemos Chieftains against the Lansing Catholic Central Cougars. Good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Moore, and along with Ben Stark, we'll be bringing you all of the action. And Ben, let's take a quick look at tonight's matchup.
Well, first, Scott, I'd like to expound on the rich football tradition at Lansing Catholic Central. This is a team that has won the Capital Circuit title 1982, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87. It goes on and on. They won a state title in 1985. They were regional champs in 84 and 87. They have had a great decade of the 1980s. However, they're hitting an Okemos team that is starting to peak. 15 straight regular season wins. And so tonight is going to probably be a game that's going to depend on who makes the most mistakes.
Okay, take a look at some of the players across the lines from each other.
Well, for Okemos, Matt Snyder is awfully hot. He's had two 200-plus yard passing games, and then Andy Wozniak has had 2 games in a row, 160 all-purpose yards. Everybody's heard about Marty Castellan for Catholic Central, who's got 1,160 yards. 1,160 yards in 6 games? That's incredible. We'd be talking about a Heisman Trophy if this were college. And then, of course, James Reynolds, a good fullback who's also playing a great linebacker. He blocked an extra point against Lakewood to save the game. And then Brad Fravel, a lot of seniors on the Okemos team.
Okay, you have any predictions?
This is a tough one. We've been talking about this up in the press box. I came into tonight's game thinking that it would be a big Okemos win, probably Okemos by 17. I'm going to revise that to Okemos by 13, but I want to put a little footnote on that because if Okemos makes a lot of mistakes, they're going to lose, and if Catholic Central makes a lot of mistakes, they're going to lose. One other note about that is that Okemos is very strong in the second half. They've only given up 2 touchdowns in the second half and no touchdowns in the third quarter. They've got a lot more players than Catholic Central, 43-28. So if Okemos gets ahead early, it's probably going to be over early. If Catholic Central can keep the game close at halftime, it's going to depend on the mistakes.
Okay, and now let's go down to the field for the national anthem.
Well, maybe not the national anthem, but...
Okay, that's the Okemos Marching Band with the national anthem and the Okemos High School fight song. Now let's take a look at last year's game with our Jason Carr. Last year, the Okemos Chieftains and the Lansing Catholic Central Cougars met in a much-anticipated duel for the Capital Circuit crown. The Chiefs playing for the outright title, the Cougars looking for a share of it. On the game's first series, the Cougars failed to convert on 3rd and long, giving Okemos star Andy Wozniak the chance to do what he does best.
Taken at the 40. This is number 15, Andy Wozniak, and he's off to the races. Wozniak down the far sideline, and touchdown Okemos on the first time they touched the ball.
The Chieftain touchdown struck like lightning, leaving the Catholic Central squad dazed and confused, at least until Cougar running back Mario Villarreal took matters and the pigskin into his own hands.
3rd down for the Cougars. Villarreal blasts off tackle. Did he make it in? He got it. Touchdown, Catholic Central.
Villarreal's touchdown plunge from the goal line capped an impressive 85-yard drive, and more importantly, put the Cougars back in the game at 7-7. The Chiefs remained undaunted, however, and soon Keith Freilich's team would pull ahead once more.
Snyder keeps it himself, rolls around the left side, or the right side rather, and touchdown Okemos. Snyder taking it in from 4 yards out.
Though it came late in the second quarter, Matt Snyder's bootleg proved to be the game winner for Okemos, as LCC committed 2 costly errors in the game's final minutes.
Working out of the pro set once again. McArdle passes, intercepted. Okemos picking it off. Jeff Wendt once again, 4th and 4 now. McArdle back pass, under pressure, drops the ball. Okemos wins.
And so ended the 1988 race for the Capital Circuit Championship. The Okemos Chieftains edging the defending Class C regional champs from Catholic Central 14-7 for the trophy. For Prep Sports 89, Jason Carr reporting.
Well, thank you very much, Jason Carr. There on the field, you see a little bit of excitement on the part of the Okemos Chieftains. That's number 10 for Okemos, Brad Fravel, the senior, right up on top of the pack. Are these guys pumped up, Ben, or what?
Well, I would expect so. They consider it a big point to win the Capital Circuit outright. They don't want to share it. They didn't have to share it last year, but they've shared it before, and Catholic Central, as I mentioned, has dominated the Capital Circuit throughout the 1980s, so they do want this thing all to themselves.
Well, we're waiting still for the Catholic Central Cougars to take the field. The game clock is down to 0. Maybe they're just kind of hanging around in the locker room getting a little last-minute instruction.
Well, as much as it's a big game for Okemos, it's a bigger game for Catholic Central because it's all on the line tonight for them. If they lose, they are just second place, and, you know, in sports, second place doesn't mean much to anybody but, well, some loyal fans. You know, it's nice if your team finishes second sort of thing, but to the players, second means nothing when you consider how many times they've been first. And last year, the first time in 6 years they've been anything except first place, so it's a big game for them.
Well, and you see the Cougars have now taken the field, and Ben, you're exactly correct on that. This is the game that Catholic Central has been shooting toward all season long. This is turning into such a rivalry between these two schools.
And it's all, thanks all of it goes to the Charlotte Orioles, who beat Catholic Central this year and also last year to force this situation. Last year we were looking at the possibility of a 3-way tie. If Catholic Central won, there would be a 3-way tie at 5-1, which happened earlier this decade once with, I believe, Mason and Charlotte. Tonight, there would be a 3-way tie if Charlotte were to win.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, that's the situation tonight.
We should take a look at the starting teams for Catholic Central and for Okemos. Okemos won the kick and declined. That means they're going to kick, which is what teams usually do. So on defense for the Chieftains, and one of the big questions was a linebacker where 48 Greg Michaels has a shoulder injury, but we're told he will play with a special brace, which was flown in this morning at 10:30 this morning and arrived from Wyoming. And he's going to be wearing that. They were worried that it was a rotator cuff injury, but they think it's just tendonitis.
Now that shows you how important a guy like Greg Michaels is to this Orioles or Okemos Chieftains team.
Right. They flew it in at a cost that I will not name, but it's not easy. Anyway, on the front line defensively for the Chieftains at the end positions, number 40 Steve Schott and number 80 Bob Rawls. The tackles will be number 60 Miguel Placencia and number 55 Brian Scriber, and then at nose guard number 44 Tony Robertson. The linebackers Greg Michaels we mentioned and Brad Fravel, and they basically lead the team in tackles. And then in the defensive secondary, the cornerbacks Jay Terrace and Anthony Felino. And the safeties, at strong safety, Chris Miller, and at free safety, Andy Wozniak. On offense for Catholic Central, on the front line, the center is number 54, Tim Lau. The guards are number 75, Steve Cherry, number 65, Eric Casper. The tackles are number 72, Matt Johnson, and number 56, Dan Miller. The tight end is Tom Brandell, number 90. The split end is Nick Longinella, number 99. The quarterback, Jeff Pratt. Fullback, James Reynolds, number 48. Halfback, Marty Castellon, number 22. And the flanker will be Joe Kasmer. I should point out also, Scott, again, Catholic Central only has 28 players suited up, at least 28 listed on their roster, and Okemos has 43, and that's where I made the comment earlier that the second half of the game should belong to Okemos. That's barring some big injuries, and you know, right, you could have a big starter get injured early, and that could change the complexion of the game.
Well, anytime that you have a numbers mismatch like that, you look for players to start getting tired, especially in a high school game where so many players will play both directions, a la James Reynolds for Catholic Central tonight. You know, he'll be playing in the offensive backfield, taking some big blocks, leading the way for Marty Castellon, and then on the other side of the field, he's got to turn around, play linebacker, and give out those big hits against Okemos, and he plays on the special teams as well.
And that's where Okemos has the advantage. They've had the luxury this year of, as Coach Freilich says, starting 22 players. They don't play two-way. The only man that's listed to start two-way is Miguel Placencia, and that was a late change, I believe. Miguel getting the defensive tackle start. He also plays offensive tackle. But other than that, everybody on Okemos plays just the one position.
Adam Walensky getting set to kick off for the Chieftains.
Adam is the younger brother of Jeff Walensky, who played a couple of years ago. He will be squibbing it. I'd like to point that out. He will be squibbing the kickoffs all night long.
Castellon and Longinello deep. And there's your squib. Ben high in the air, taken by Castellon at the 20, drops and picks up 25 up to the 30.
Okay, they squibbed it all last week. They don't exactly kick away. Maybe that's the point.
Good coverage by Kurt Martin for Okemos on the kickoff there. So Catholic Central will set it up 1st and 10.
I also would like to point out you can expect to see good special team coverage by the Chiefs all game long. They've been giving up only about 4 yards per punt return and less than 10 yards per kickoff return this year.
Jeff Pratt comes up under center. This is Castellon off the left side, and look at him go up 10 yards. Picked up about, say, 13 on that dive. And there's a first down for Catholic Central, coming out of the gate strong.
Here's the power offense. Both teams running the I formation, the 5-2 defense, and both coaches, I'm sure, will be testing each other early with some standard power football. Of course, we know that Castellon carries the ball about 25 times a game, and he's averaging nearly 200 yards a game on more than 7 yards per carry.
1st and 10 once again from the 40 where he went out of bounds, just barely picking up that first down. Pratt hands off to Castellon, just about the same play. This time he picks up 4 up to the 44-yard line. In on the tackle, looks like number 32 is Rustin Wolf for Okemos.
Rustin Wolf is also on the wrestling team at Okemos, and he was the team leader in pins for the last 3 years.
Well, he certainly pinned Marty Castellon right there. 2nd down now, and call it about 6 yards for the Cougars. Castellon, the workhorse tonight, picking up about 3. Looks like 2nd and maybe even 3rd effort there.
The primary objective for the Chiefs this year, like last year, will be to force Catholic Central to throw the ball. They don't like to throw the ball a lot. Both teams run the ball 75% of the time, but the explosive passing offense is with Okemos. I think Catholic Central throws when they need to or to supplement, occasionally probably hit a long bomb. We're missing some statistical information for them. We know that Marty Castellon alone has 2 more yards rushing this year than the entire Okemos team.
Ooh. 3rd down now. Call it 3 yards to go for the Cougars. And this time, the quick handoff to Reynolds. He's going to be close.
They are marking him just over, yeah.
Just over the 50-yard line. He needed to get there. He should have the first down.
Okemos may call for a measurement here. It'll be their option. They're getting ready to...
From our angle right here, it looks like they've got it by about half the length of a football, but they are going to bring the chains in. We have a timeout while they bring the chains.
onto the field to mark this one off. And let's see how close we came. About half the football. So that's 2 first downs now for Catholic Central, and they are driving on this, the initial possession of the game.
And the football, you'll recall, is 11.5 inches long.
It is? Really?
Yeah, we talked about that last year or 2 years ago on this series.
So they picked it up by about 6 inches. The ball just across the midfield stripe. Just underway here, about 10 minutes left in the first quarter. Catholic Central against Okemos. This is Castellan. Seems to be carrying almost exclusively to the left side of the line tonight, picking up about 3 yards there.
Well, that left side of the line is led by Matt Johnson and Steve Cherry. I think what they're really trying to do probably is run at the right side of the defense. I'm not sure why, but that is probably what they're gearing it towards.
So it'll set up a second down and call it about 8 yards to go. Pickup of 2 on that play. And the pitch to Castellan. This time he comes right, has a look. Oh, what a hit by number 10, Brad Frabel. What a jarring hit. He's the guy that was on top of the pile. He is pumped up this evening.
Castellan made a good play because Chris Miller came in from his strong safety position and demolished the fullback James Reynolds on the sweep, and usually that sets up a tackle for no gain or maybe a loss. There it is right there. That's Miller taking out the fullback, and you're going to see Frabel come in from the right side of your screen. There he is. Ouch. Big hit by Brad Frabel.
Third down now and 5 yards to go for the Cougars in Okemos territory. The option play, Snyder keeps it.
He's got it.
He will be very close. Looks like he should have it. Again, another 6 inches or so.
Now they're really grinding it out here early in the ball game.
Good old-fashioned power football. And they won't measure this time. Just call it a first down for the Cougars. Showing in this initial possession that they can run the football against the Okemos defense. So 1st and 10, let's see what happens. And James Reynolds gets the call up the middle, picking up a couple of yards.
That's the first carry for Reynolds, obviously. It's been Castellan the whole time on this drive so far. Interestingly, if you remember last year, Scott, Castellan was a wide receiver, and it was Mario Villarreal who got all the luggage, what do you call it? He lugged the ball a lot. Same position, same offense, different personnel.
Joe Kesmer checks in for the Cougars. Splits out wide to the right. Cougars working out of their I formation. Snyder back to pass.
He was hit. He was hit by Miller and Scott Lindsay. Miller at the strong safety position. Scott Lindsay from defensive end got in. They were showing option on that play, Scott, and then they dropped back, and Pratt's arm was hit as he was attempting to pass.
He may have taken just a little bit more time than he needed. You see, he was juggling the ball between his 2 hands. I don't know if he's a left-handed quarterback or not. That's the first time that he's thrown, but he certainly threw that with his left hand.
Well, they're not a passing team.
3rd and long now, 8 yards to go for the Cougars. Snyder back to pass, and he is a left-handed thrower. Intended for, looked like number 99, Longinello. And just overthrown.
They had to pass sometime. That's the problem.
They were grinding it out pretty well, but when you get stuck in a 3rd and long, you got to go to the air, and they just, obviously that time we're not ready to go.
I'm sure they'll have some completions and some success passing tonight, Scott, but they cannot rely on it.
Marty Castellone, Mr. Everything, back to punt. Gets a beauty downfield.
Uh-oh.
This one could be downed. No, it just got into the end zone. Looked like number 33 for Okemos, Jay Terrace, was down there keeping the offensive team away from the ball, and it just got into the end zone. It'll come out to the 20.
Jay Terrace has blocked a punt this year already and for a touchdown. He is the class president at Okemos High School.
And now we get a chance to see what the Chieftains can do. 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. They bring 2 ends out wide to the left side.
Lot of room, lot of room. That's Pete Drizel.
Pete Drizel, the sophomore, coming across the field, and he picks up a first down on his first possession as well.
Scott, as soon as we were done with the pregame, I realized I wanted to mention Pete Drizel. He is the only sophomore on the varsity. He's the younger brother of Nick Drizel, also number 45 from last year, the MVP of the team last year. So the tradition continues.
1st and 10 again for the Chieftains. Snyder under center. And here's Drizel again. Busts through 1 tackle, picks up about 6 yards. Brought down by number 22, Marty Castellan.
Drizel, as a sophomore, is leading the team in rushing, 526 yards. Here he's going off tackle, kind of a counter play. He gets away from the one defender, and he's got open territory until, guess who? Marty Castellan greets him at the near sideline and takes him out of bounds.
2nd down, short yardage situation now. Snyder on the option, pitches out.
That's Wozniak.
Wozniak, number 15.
Okay, that was
They'll be close to a first down.
Yeah, that time Snyder was running the 33 veer option, or what the coach calls the load option. They run it in the pro set. The option is to give to the, well, it's the halfback or the fullback really in the pro set, or to carry it himself, or to pitch out. We'll see that again tonight. I know it's a little confusing the way I've described it. We'll get to look at it on replay, and I'll explain it better.
And all of a sudden, the Chieftains are near midfield. Snyder sends Fravel in motion. Handoff to the first man through.
That's Zeski.
Jeff Zeski. And Jeff Zeski went nowhere. Actually lost about a couple of yards, maybe 3.
Zeski is the 2nd leading rusher on the team. He's averaging 4.2 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns this year, and only 10 yards for loss. That's one of the things when you look at the Okemos statistics here. Not too many yards lost for anybody but the quarterback. It's an efficient offense.
They'll bring up 2nd down and a short 12, 11 and a half maybe, and Snyder back to pass, looking deep.
That's Steve Dick, the tight end.
Could have been a little close to an interference call against number 43, Jeff Maloney there.
Instead, I think we're going to have a personal foul. Somewhere around the line of scrimmage, a flag went down well after the pass. Oh, no. That's going to be, it's called against Okemos.
So the penalty will go against the Chieftains. And we'll just wait to get the official signal.
Now, I saw a signal. I couldn't make it out from the side. It may have been a hold.
It's a big one, 10 yards. Holding is the call.
It's got kind of a funny way of making that signal.
Well, that'll make it 2nd down and 22, and now we know Snyder will go up top. Lone setback is Zeski, and Snyder back to pass. Oh boy, had Wozniak, but a little bit high. Check that. That was not Wozniak. That was Peter Drizel out of the backfield coming back. It's a heady move for a sophomore to come back for the pass like that.
Brian Weiss, the linebacker, covering on the receiver and almost getting a shot at a pickoff. Last year in this same ball game, Wozniak had 4 catches for 34 yards, but he had the big 60-yard punt return for a touchdown. And, okay, here's Snyder. He's looking for Drizel, but the ball is not there.
Just
That's Weiss on the coverage.
Fravel in motion again. Snyder looking deep for Fravel.
Oh,
he's got it.
Oh, no.
Well, he had it, or it looked like he had it.
He had it, but he had to dive for it. I'll tell you one thing about Brad Fravel. He's one of the fastest players on the team. We understand he runs a 4.5
So Okemos will set up to punt it away on 4th and 22. Going deep for the Cougars, number 22 is Marty Castellan. Brad Fravel to punt.
Fravel as the punter with all that speed, too. He's in a good position to fake, but not probably on...
not with 22 yards to go. Nice high kick. Could bring rain. Castellan signals fair catch. It bounces off him.
Nope, he's got it. Wait a minute, Okemos has got it.
To take a look at what the official says here, it looked like Castellan had it.
They haven't signaled. They're giving it to Okemos.
Okemos will take it at the 30-yard line of Catholic Central.
So there's the first big break of the game. And I want to point out again, Catholic Central cannot afford to make mistakes early because as the game wears on, Okemos will have the edge because of the number of players on the team.
So it'll bring up 1st and 10 on the 30, and I don't want to harp on it, but that's the second kickoff that Castellan has let bounce off his chest. Let's take another look at it.
He calls the fair catch, and it just got caught up in the lights.
It looks like maybe he might have looked upfield a little early, and in a big game, that's easy to do. Back to live action. Drizal with the ball.
He's gone. He's gone.
That's the corner. Touchdown, Okemos. Peter Drizal, 30-yard scamper off the right side of the line.
Well, I said they were an efficient offense. They capitalized on that mistake in a hurry.
And the partisan Okemos fans are rejoicing now. Their team has just jumped out to a 6-0 lead. In to attempt the extra point is Eric Somm out of the hold of Andy Wozniak. Kick is up, and it is near perfect.
It's good enough.
It's good.
He hasn't missed one. Well, no, he has missed. They've gone for some two-point conversions this year. He kicks the field goals as well, and he doesn't. He only has one this year. It's about a 28, 29-yarder.
Certainly looked like he could have hit about a 28 or 30-yarder on that kick. That one kept going.
We need to give credit to Chad Howes, number 81, who picked up the fumble by Castellan on the punt.
So Okemos jumps ahead. The score 7-0. I don't know exactly how you would classify whether that's an 80-yard drive or a 30-yard drive.
That's a 30-yard drive because it
had the turnover.
He had the ball, so he touched it. That was their ball.
Castellan and Longinello back to take the kick from Adam Walensky.
All right, I think they're going to squib it, okay? I'm going to back off and say I think they're going to squib it. He's too close to the ball, though. Oh, Somm kicked it.
Somm kicked it and squibbed it, picked up very well at the 35-yard line. Of course, we have no idea who that was.
I think it was Tom Brandell, number 90.
Number 90, Tom Brandell with the ball. Good hands. He comes out of bounds at about the 46-yard line where Catholic Central will set up 1st and 10.
Brandell will stay on the field as the tight end. Well, Scott, this puts Catholic Central into a hole, too, being a rushing team and all, and already being down in the first quarter. They'll have to keep their composure and try and grind out the yardage.
The quarterback, Jeff Pratt, brings the Cougars up to the line. The handoff to Castellan. And he is stopped on the left side of the line for little or no gain. And now this is what Catholic Central did not want to have happen. Okemos has scored, and now the defense is pumped up.
Now, Okemos still has the capacity to make a mistake later in the game to give the Cougars a chance to even things up. But I said earlier, if one of these teams plays mistake-free, we'll either have a close game if it's Catholic Central or possibly a runaway if it's Okemos.
Jeff Maloney checks in for the Cougars, goes wide to the right side. Longinello wide left. Pratt rolling, pitches to Castellan. He gets around a corner.
That was Wozniak.
Wozniak with an alert open field tackle stopped him from going all the way. Nevertheless, though, Castellan picks up enough for a 1st down.
These two teams have played 4 out of their 5. Oh, we've got a clip now. Oh, boy, against Catholic Central. Bring it back. Watch for the clip now. 48 is Reynolds. And there's a good block. Well, we think we just saw the clip. Maybe yeah, I guess the clip already occurred, Scott.
Yeah, I believe it was Tim Lau who clipped Tony Robertson on that play.
Catholic Central having a tough time getting settled here. So far, it's cost them 7 points.
It's a big game. These kids came into it pumped, and to tell you the truth, Catholic Central came into this game knowing they could win it. Well, we're going to find out. In another 36 minutes or so.
I was starting to say both teams have played 4 out of their 5 league games, and if you add up the scores of the common opponents, Okemos is plus 67.
So second down now, 25 yards to go after the clip penalty. And Pratt goes back to pass.
Nothing open.
He was looking for James Reynolds out of the backfield. That'll bring up third down, 25 yards to go.
It's not the situation they want to be in.
Especially not a primarily ground-based attack like Catholic Central.
This game is also important for Okemos beyond winning the league. They want to get to the state playoffs, and they'll have a tough time at 8-1 getting there. They want to be 9-0. The common feeling is that at 9-0 they'll still need some help, but I feel at 9-0 they'll be going.
Third and 25 now for the Cougars. Pratt back to pass, rolling right. He's under some pressure. Unloads, had Reynolds open along the sideline, but even if he had been able to catch it, it would have been just about 3 yards short of a first down. No, would have been, check that, it would have been about 13 yards short of a first down.
Pressure that time from number 40, Steve Shutt, the defensive end, number 44, Tony Robertson, the nose guard, and number 20, the strong safety, Chris Miller.
That'll bring up fourth down. Castellon will go back to punt. And Wozniak goes deep along with Brad Fravel.
Wozniak has returned a punt for a touchdown this year. Not this one.
That one will bounce and be downed at about the 47-yard line. So Okemos gets a second shot at it again now. Two minutes, 49 seconds left in the first quarter. Our score, Okemos 7, Lansing Catholic Central nothing on Prep Sports 89. Snyder comes up under center. The quick handoff to Drizal. He's been a busy young man this evening.
That was Zeski.
Oh, yep, that was Zeski.
Yeah, they both got the 5s, 25 and 45. Drizal, by the way, has 3 rushes, 51 yards, and a touchdown already tonight. I'll tell you something else, Scott. This Okemos team will do anything from any formation. There's no predicting. They have multiple formations. Here you see another one. They'll change them from play to play, and they'll do anything, run or pass from them.
Out of the I formation, Drizal this time. I got that one right. Trying to get outside to pick up the first down, but good pursuit there. Number 48, James Reynolds, along with 90, Tom Brandell, making the stop on Pete Drizal. Loss of a yard, make it third down and 2 for the Chieftains.
They would pass on third down and 2, by the way. Even it's a short 2. Yeah, I look for the option here, though, the veer option or the load option. Yep, they're lining up for it in the pro set.
You've got Fravel and Wozniak both going wide left.
Here
Backs in a pro set.
That's it. That's the option.
There you go.
Okay, I'll tell you what they do there. They get into that pro set, and they had both of the twin receivers over on this near side, so that brings the defense stacked over. They've got to protect against the passing game. And then they run the other way. Now, Snyder at quarterback has the option of either giving it to the fullback who's going off tackle, or faking that, continuing, and running, or pitching to the trailing tailback, who often will be Wozniak in that situation, but it could be Drizal.
It's an awfully complicated offense for a high school player, and Snyder seems to be handling it very well so far this evening. Drizal gets the call this time, and up over the 40-yard line to about the 37.
Snyder did not have a great game last year against Catholic Central. He was 5 out of 15 for 52 yards, but he had the one rushing touchdown to win the game at the end of the first half.
Second down and 5 now for the Chiefs. And we get a look at another lineup.
Now we've got a problem with equipment there for one of the linebackers for Catholic Central. Is that Reynolds? I think it is.
We have an official timeout while they fix up the equipment.
No, I think it was Brian Rice. or Weiss, I mean. Yeah.
So we'll take a look at yet another Okemos formation. Fravel goes wide to the right side, one back is Zeski, and now he's clearing out. Snyder back to pass, got all the time he needs. Wozniak,
that's got to be an interference. There it is.
There's the interference call. The call going against number 43, Jeff Maloney, and folks, he knows it. He's down on the ground, pounding the ground, saying, why, oh, why?
Okay, on that play, Scott, we saw number 22 come in for Okemos. That's Jemai Gilbert. He also has 4.5 speed. He cleared out that zone on a curl from the near side, actually, to bring Wozniak then going deep. He immediately drew double coverage, and he was not going to catch that ball. Unfortunately for Catholic Central, they hit him while he was not going to catch it, and but I guess the officials considered it catchable. Otherwise, there would not be the penalty.
So we'll be stepping it off here. It'll be a first down for the Chieftains deep in Cougar territory. The ball will be on the 22-yard line. 15-yard penalty. Time just about up in the first quarter, about 29 seconds left to go, and Okemos leading 7-0. Okemos goes back to the I formation. Fravel goes in motion. Snyder hands off to Drizal right up the middle and wrapped up. Putting the finishing touches on him, James Reynolds.
At that time, they went with the draw play. Again, something different. They really haven't run the same thing twice, except for they run that option, but the option isn't the same thing from play to play either.
Now when you have that many options on it, it's not the same thing. Fravel comes out, Wozniak comes in. Also checking out for Okemos now, Jemai Gilbert.
Jemai, that's correct. And that's the first quarter.
And that's the end of the first quarter. Our score from Okemos High School, the Chieftains 7, the Cougars nothing. We'll be right back with more on Prep Sports 88. We're back just in time to see Snyder rolling to his right, looking into the end zone, intended for Wozniak, just overthrown. Some decent coverage downfield by the Cougars.
Chad Howes and Steve Dick also in the area.
So Okemos knocking on the door now. It is third down and about 9 to go. The ball on the Lansing Catholic Central 21-yard line. Jay Terrace checks in for the Chiefs. Now we're going to look at three backs in a wishbone. And instead of running, he's going to the air, looking for Wozniak, just overthrown. Covering on the play, number 43 for Catholic Central is Jeff Maloney. That's kind of odd. You show on the wishbone and then you throw.
I'm telling you,
These guys are
do
mixing it
anything
up.
from any formation. It's almost like a joke. It's almost like Coach Freilich is just kidding around. You know, he'll set up one formation and then do something else. This would be a long field goal attempt, so they're not going to try it.
It'll be fourth down and 9 yards to go. The ball on the 21.
They've got a good defense, so they don't need to worry about field position.
You got two backs and an eye. Fravel goes wide to the right. Snyder keeps rolling, looking. Now he tucks and runs. He's going to be short of the first down, and the ball will go over to Catholic Central on downs. But a good effort right there by quarterback Matt Snyder. So Catholic Central will take over, but they are very deep in their own territory, taking over first and 10, the ball on their own 13-yard line.
Boy, tremendous play action by Matt Snyder on that play. Watch him now. There's the one fake. Well, we just missed the other fake. He's been playing varsity this is his fourth year playing varsity.
And it shows.
Yeah, there's the pump fake. Now watch how he meets James Reynolds. This is his greeting. James Reynolds, 48, kaboom. Stands him right up.
Back to live action. The handoff goes right up the middle to James Reynolds. And he is met by, oh, let's call that about 9 of the 11 Chiefs.
They stress gang tackling here at Okemos. Of course, all coaches like that, and this is why they went for it on 4th down, Scott. They feel they've got a good defense. Against a rushing team, you don't feel you're going to get burned big. They did get burned by Charlotte last week on the first touchdown of the game, but they only gave up 1 touchdown the rest of the way.
Pratt comes up to the line again, still working with the I formation. Pitch to Castellan. He had a little trouble picking it up. Looked like he was going to have a little bit of room to run it back the other direction, and then all of a sudden the wall closed down.
One of the members of the wall was Bob Rawls, number 80, who was class president at Okemos High School for the past 3 years.
That'll make it 3rd down. Loss of about 5 yards on that play. Call it 3rd and 15. And the Cougars have their work cut out for them.
Here's the broken play, and Castellan really has no chance. 80 is Bob Rawls, 33 is Jay Terrace, the 2 guys coming in from the side. And now we're back to action.
Castellan back to live action, breaks a couple of tackles, works it upfield, and he is close to a 1st down. I think he may have it.
They are marking him short. Just short.
Just barely short.
They'll need to measure this.
They're going to bring the chains in. But yeah, Ben, it looks from our vantage point here like they're going to be very close, but just a few inches short on this one. Take another look at it here. Castellan running through traffic. Nice dodge.
Yep, got by 2 guys right there.
Bounces off a couple of tacklers, and then he's off.
Well, this is what Catholic Central is going to have to count on to stay in the game. Oh, Stan Simmons there for the Town Courier. On the camera there, we just saw him on the replay. He just won an award for a picture he took at the Okemos Novi game last year, the playoff game here at Okemos High School, which the Chieftains lost.
As we predicted, they were just a few inches short. You can see it right there. About 3 or 4 inches short. It's 4th down and inches. And Castellan back to punt. Normally, with a runner like Castellan doing your punting, you would call for the fake, but not this deep when you're trailing this early in the game.
This is prime time for Andy Wozniak. He's got a chance to go into the broken field and do something.
Wozniak standing back at his own 50, or not his own 50, the 50. Castellan's punt drives him back, and it'll take a bounce out of bounds inside the 40 at about the 38-yard line, where Okemos will set up 1st and 10.
I mentioned that game, the playoff loss to Novi last year, which Stan Simmons took the picture of a couple of dejected Okemos Chieftains at the end of the game. Coach Freilich there in his 8th year at Okemos High School. And it's a matter of seasoning, Scott. This team is a veteran team at this point with... they're loaded with seniors, 27 seniors out of 43 players.
On 1st and 10, Snyder hands off to Drizal, and he's caught in the backfield. A good pursuit there defensively by number 81 for Catholic Central, Eric Rule. And Ben, you want to stress the fact that this is a rushing game. Neither team so far, with 9:31 left in the 1st half, has completed a pass.
These teams match up well in terms of size. They are both senior dominated, but Okemos has almost 2-to-1 margin of seniors over juniors.
Snyder, the quick handoff to Zeski up the middle. That seemed to surprise the Cougars, and he picks up about 4 yards.
So now I'll drive my point home, okay?
Okay.
They all lost last year to Novi. They all had the big turnaround year last year after being 3-6 in '87. They all got to the summit at 9-0 last year and then fell down in the 1st round of the playoffs. They are not thinking about just winning the league title. They're not thinking about just making the playoffs. They want to go to the Dome.
3rd down now, 6 yards to go. Wozniak in motion. Handoff up the middle once again to Zeski. Zeski gets up over the 45 to the 46, but they'll still be a couple of yards short of the 1st down. That'll make it 4th down, and Castellan will go deep. You know, Ben, except for that one dropped punt, this has been a very, very even game.
Well, the drop punt and then the 30-yard touchdown run by Drizal. They did capitalize on that, but you're right. 2 men back now for Catholic Central.
Fravel back to punt. Looking at Castellone and Longinello. Kicking toward Longinello. This one will bounce early, though, and head toward the sideline. Good bounce.
Good bounce.
Will be good bounce for Okemos.
Yeah.
And we'll be down at about the 23-yard line. So in a game of field position, Okemos has had the field position advantage over Catholic Central so far this evening. And a bit of a breeze starts to kick up here at Okemos High School.
Beautiful weather, though, for what we've been having. I don't need to tell everybody that, but it has been miserable. And tonight, or today, just a beautiful day. And tonight, this is truly perfect football weather.
It truly is.
It's cooling off, and that's good for the players. As they get heated up, it'll cool down. Both coaches now out talking to their teams. That's Phil Booth right there. He's got an enviable coaching record at Catholic Central High School. He's been there for 18 years. Career record 121 and 48. Came to Catholic Central after 2 years at Kalamazoo College, 3 years at Kalamazoo Hackett. He's a graduate of Western Michigan University. Also is the baseball coach for Catholic Central. Last year, his baseball team won the league. 10-0 in the Capital Circuit, 23-6 overall. He's had other good years, Class C regional champs in 79 and 80. Meanwhile, Keith Fralick, I mentioned in his 8th season at Okemos after 3 years as head coach at St. Mary's of Redford, 2 years as assistant at Detroit de La Salle, a year as an assistant at Southgate Aquinas, and 1 year as assistant at Alma High School right out of college, which was Alma College. He played defensive tackle there, was all-conference for 2 years in the MIAA. He won 2 league titles. Keith Fralick is a graduate of Portage Central High School.
Jeff Pratt brings the Cougars up to the line, 1st and 10. Hand off to Castellon, and he is mugged in the backfield. Trying to get the number of the player back there. That was number 44 for Okemos. And that is Tony Robertson, who greeted Mr. Castellon in the backfield.
Now, Robertson is playing a nose guard position, and he was in on pursuit of Pratt earlier on a failed passing attempt, and you know your defense is working when your nose guard is getting into the action.
Getting that kind of penetration. The loss of 3 will make it 2nd and 13. The pitch to Castellon. Gets up ahead of steam, turns the corner, and fights his way up over the 25 to about the 28 or 29-yard line. He still is about short of a first down. He picks up about 8 yards on the play. It'll make it 3rd down, 5 yards to go. Just over 7 minutes left in the first half from Okemos High School. The Chieftains on top, 7-0.
Okemos only giving up a little more than 115 yards per game rushing against their opponents so far this year. Remember, Castellon himself averaging almost 200.
Joe Kasmer comes out wide to the left side of the line now for the Cougars. Pratt rolling, pitches to Castellon the other direction. Some good penetration in the backfield. Gets him. That was number 20 for Okemos, Chris Miller. Good penetration by Chris Miller, coming from the strong safety position.
Chris Miller is a 5'10", 175-pound senior who went to the Winning Edge football camp. Don't ask me where it is. Watch for number 20. Chris Miller will finish this off. Here's the pitch by Pratt, and a good play here by Castellon right there, and that shows his running skills.
Got him by the shoelace.
Yeah, but Miller did make the tackle. Uh-oh, this is
high
big,
snap over Castellon's head. He's got to improvise now. What a kick.
Boy, that was nice.
And it'll take a bounce for Catholic Central. Oh, my gosh.
Well, that's the play of the game, I think.
Right there.
That's a phenomenal play.
If he had not been able to kick that, he was down inside the 10-yard line.
He was in big trouble. That was a brilliant play.
Kicking it on the run, Marty Castellon gets the Cougars out of trouble. And the Chiefs, instead of taking over around their own 10-yard line, will set up 1st and 10 from the 45.
He not only got the punt off, he got a good punt off.
It was a beauty. Snyder rolls and looking to pass. Deep drop, getting some pressure now. Look out. All the way back. There's a flag.
That's a hold, I think. They're going to call
Either
a hold in the
or
center.
Hold or a clip.
No, it's going to be a hold.
Boy, what broke down there?
Well, oh, it is a
About
clip.
everything.
Good call.
Looked like it could have been, number 56, Dan Miller for Catholic Central that came shooting across the line. Let's take another look at
This is going to show it. You can see the offensive line breaking down here. Everybody's coming in.
Dan Miller.
Yeah.
Goes up to block it and says, "Hi, I'm going to chase you all over the backfield."
Watch, you'll see right there.
There's the clip.
Marginal clip, but it is.
Bill Morris in the center, trying to help out his quarterback.
Oh, he's trying to help out his buddy. I think, you know, these aren't pros. These kids, they go to school together. They play together. I mean, I don't mean to say play. They're getting to be, you know, seniors in high school and all, but they're definitely buddies.
This is going to hurt Okemos more than we originally thought, because that penalty will be assessed from the point of the infraction.
That's right. Yeah.
So that'll set them up inside the 10-yard line at the 9. They've got to get to the Catholic Central 46-yard line for a first down. Let's call that a 1st and 44, 45 maybe?
That's Drizal.
Drizal trying to get around the left side of the line. Gets it outside the 15.
Scott, what Okemos wants to do primarily is just get some field position to get rid of this ball now. Sure, they'd like to get out to the Catholic Central 45 for a first down, but they've just got to get some breathing room and get rid of it.
Trying to get their punter out of the end zone. They set up in the wishbone. This time they'll run out of the wishbone with Drizal or along the left side of the line. He'll pick up about 3 or 4.
Same play. Ran the same play twice. Drizal. Remember, he is only a sophomore. Drizal lettered in track, varsity track, as a freshman last year in the long jump, and he qualified for the state meet. Very talented athlete.
The long jump would come in handy here, but I don't think he could clear that much distance. 3rd and 33. Snyder keeps it, looking to throw. He's got his fullback, Zeski. Drops the ball.
Catholic Central.
Catholic Central will take over.
They're calling it down. They're calling it down. This will be a controversial play. They're calling him down. If we have a replay, we will get probably a good look at this.
We'll be taking a look at that in just a second. It looked like number 23, Joe Kesmer, was going to turn the Cougar fortunes around with one play. They are talking about it on the sideline, the officials.
Play action there by Snyder. 2 fakes. The pressure, and he'll pump fake here because of the pressure, and then throw to Zeski complete.
There he's got Zeski.
Definitely got the ball. The question is, does the ground cause the fumble? Is he down? Where's the ball? He's dropped
The ball was out.
Oh boy!
That was the Catholic Central tacklers.
Well, we're up
stripped
here.
That ball right
we're
out.
up here in the replay booth, and we're going to roll that. It's Catholic Central ball.
It should be, but there is no instant replay in high school ball.
That is a tough break against the Cougars.
Tough break for the Cougars.
There's really no question. He was completely standing up when he dropped the ball. I mean, he was hit, but he was not anything close
now
to down.
They're taking the ball back. Maybe what they're saying is that there was a penalty before the play started.
Yeah.
We'll have to take a look at this. It's a 3rd down play.
That's very questionable.
3rd and 26. Must have been an offside against the Cougars. Snyder rolling on the option. Was in the grass, but that doesn't make any difference. Oh, Wozniak, what a job getting away from 2 would-be tacklers.
Okay, that's the option. This time they faked the give to the fullback. They've been setting that up, you see, with the give to the fullback earlier on that same play. And then Snyder wanted to pitch out. Wozniak was right behind him. He couldn't pitch, and then as he was being tackled, he pitched out, and Wozniak turned one of his moves on to get a couple extra yards.
Snyder showed 4 years of experience there.
Yep.
Passing that ball off as he was going down.
Tremendous advantage to have that experience at quarterback.
Fravel back to punt. Looking at Castellone and Longinello. High snap, but he handles it. Kicking towards Longinello and toward the sideline. It'll go out shy of the 50-yard line. They'll mark it out at the 45, where the Cougars will take over. So the interception not being called, or the fumble. The penalty, actually. It was the penalty that called the fumble recovery back.
I didn't really see a signal.
It was a 5-yard penalty against Catholic Central, so it must have been an offside that happened before the play got started. It would negate the play. So it doesn't really hurt them that much. The fumble recovery would have been at about the 30. They've got it at the 45 now, 1st and 10. The pitch goes up to Castellon. He's in trouble in the backfield. About 3 or 4 of the Chieftains were back there, and a flag goes down. Look for a personal foul here.
Yeah. I don't know.
Face mask.
This is, okay. Face mask we should be able to see, otherwise this is a makeup call. I really didn't see a personal foul. Did he signal face mask?
He did signal a face mask call.
Well, we should be able to see a face mask. Okay, watch for the face mask. Look at Pratt is in big trouble. He pitches and puts his buddy Marty in bigger trouble. Now watch the face mask.
There it is. There it is, number 44.
I don't know.
Got a mid up into his face. I don't know if he actually grabbed and held onto it, but
we'll give him,
got a hand up into his face.
We'll assume the officials are right on that one.
That'll be marked off from the point of infraction, so it'll still be 2nd down now. Actually, I would imagine it would be a 1st down, because that was their first play. Castellon gets the call. Cuts around the end. Look out, he's off.
Flag.
And there he goes into the end zone, but there is a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
This will be a hold. This will be holding.
Could very well be a holding call. A couple of the Cougars looking disgusted. A hold and
clip. No, that's just a clip.
Personal foul clip against the Cougars will call the wonderful run by Marty Castellon back.
It's probably a good time to mention that there is something which I think most football fans aren't completely aware of, football players certainly are, called the free blocking zone. You can do just about anything when the ball is snapped. It's about 5 yards either side of the ball, about 2 yards wide. You can just about do anything aside from face masking and punching, that sort of thing. But you can block someone from behind in the free blocking zone.
Take a look at the playback here. See if we can find that clip. It's so tough to find the clip there. But Marty Castellon just exploding once he got past the line and gets down into the end zone.
It's been a defensive ball game here in the 2nd quarter. Neither team with the 1st down, and both teams have been punting quite a bit. Now 2nd down and 12 for the Cougars, 4:10 remaining here in the 1st half. Pratt's going to run the option and pitch out to Castelloni, and he's got one man to beat, but he will not get by him. Again, a good play by Okemos, and this time it was Anthony Foligno. Foligno from the cornerback position, and he cornered Castellon on that play.
So bring up a 3rd down. Call it about 4 yards to go. The ball just inside the Okemos 40-yard line at the 39. Now Catholic Central getting a little excited, showing that they can move the ball. They've been moving the ball all evening, just not real effectively at times. Castellon with the call. Gets it up. He'll be close to a 1st down. Could be a little bit short. He needed to get the ball right onto the 35-yard line. He's just short. Depends on the spot here. No, he'll be short by a couple of inches. They'll bring up 4th down.
Anyway, Scott, that free blocking zone, you can do just about anything during a brief period of time after the ball is snapped, and then it becomes completely a judgment call by the officials when that time is over. And so we're getting these clipping calls on the interior line, and the linemen don't necessarily know.
Catholic Central going for it on 4th and less than a yard. Castellon, and he's got it. I mean, and really, did we expect anyone else to get the ball?
Well, sooner or later, we're going to start getting into that and thinking that it's Castellon, and then Reynolds will bust up the middle. But it's frustrating for those players on the offensive line to get called for these clips. when it's really the same thing they did a second earlier on the same play. Almost impossible for them to watch where the ball is to decide when the free blocking zone has expired.
That is the first down by either team here in the second quarter of this game. Castellan going to his right. The key for Catholic Central right now is to get the blockers to give Castellan a chance to build up a head of steam. He's been moving a lot laterally, but just cannot seem to get around the corner, as we saw in that touchdown that got called back. Once he gets around the corner, he's got some blazing speed.
Nobody's going to question his rushing ability. 1,160 yards in 6 games. Fabulous.
Well, they send Kesmer wide to the right side of the line now. On 2nd down and 5 to go.
There it is.
There's Reynolds. Bullies his way up to the 25-yard line. He'll be about a yard short of a first down.
I mentioned earlier, Scott, that Castellan is averaging 25 carries per ball game. He's got 17 already.
I think he's going to go over 25. What do you think, Ben?
I think so, and I think he's going to be tired when he does. He's getting gang tackled severely here by the Okemos defense.
Inside of 2 minutes left in the first half, Catholic Central trying to tie this game up. Castellan around the right side of the line, getting met hard. Loss of a couple of yards, make it 4th down.
He didn't have enough steam that time. He's already getting worn out.
Well, and it's tough. Running to the weak side of the field like that is tough anyway. You get a lot of bodies in a small amount of space.
Well, I'm not picking on Marty. I tell you, you run 17, 18 yards in a half, or carries in a half, you're going to be a tired halfback.
We've got a timeout on the field, 1:33 left in the first half. 4th down and call it 4 coming up for the Cougars, and the coaches want to talk about it a little bit.
The other thing on the line of scrimmage, I'd like to point out basic facts about football for our viewers, and that is the neutral zone. If you ever heard of the neutral zone, very simple what the neutral zone is. It's the width of the football, and nobody can put their hands into the neutral zone. Only the center on offense, because he has his hand on the ball. But on defense here in high school, at least in Michigan, if a defensive player so much as puts his hand in the neutral zone when both teams are set, it's a dead ball foul immediately. That's encroachment. On offense, if you line up in the neutral zone, same thing. Once you're set, they won't even let you snap the ball. They'll throw the flag, blow the whistle right away.
They still have a dead ball foul at that point. We've got, as I just stated, 1:33 left in the first half. Coach Froelich coming off the field for the Chieftains. And we're ready on 4th down. The Cougars will go for it. They'll stack the backfield.
Power I.
Oh, good penetration again. Number 42 from Okemos, Kurt Martin, coming across the line. Just a burst of power by the Chieftains to quell that one. Looked like Catholic Central quarterback Jeff Pratt was going back to pass on 4th and 4.
Kurt Martin is one of the few juniors to get a lot of playing time here for the Chiefs. 5'9", 160. Not big, but none of them really are.
He just showed us why right there. 1st and 10 for the Chieftains. This is Zeski being caught in the backfield. Making the tackle on the play, number 43 for Catholic Central is Jeff Maloney. That'll make it 2nd down and 11 inside a minute now in the first half.
You can see the Chiefs really want to get something here. They are not trying to kill the clock.
2nd and 11. Snyder back to pass, rolling to his left. Looking downfield for Zeski, has him, and he'll be pushed all the way out of bounds by 66 Brian Weiss. And Weiss had to push him about 5 yards to get him out of bounds.
They have not stopped the clock. They are calling forward progress on that one.
They'll mark it at the 39-yard line.
They'll get maybe one more play now.
And Ben, that was the first completed pass by either team.
Of the ball game.
Coming on the next to last play, very possibly, of the first half. 10 seconds left. Snyder looking for Wozniak on the sideline. Just overthrown. No, we'll get one more more playoff. 2 seconds left now. That was a nice looking pass. Wozniak was in position, just ran out of the sideline, ran out of room there.
You know, we found out earlier, at least I found out yesterday, the true pronunciation of Andy's name is Wozniak. That takes away my nickname for him. I was calling him the Wizard of Woz.
Ooh. So it's Andy Wozniak, and I apologize to his parents for calling him Andy Wozniak.
At least that's what the coach tells us, okay?
4th down, 7 yards to go, and Snyder will go back and drop to one knee, and that's it. We're halfway done with this game from Okemos High School. Our score at halftime, the Chieftains of Okemos High 7, the Cougars of Lansing Catholic Central nothing.
I guess it's about what we expected, Scott. It was a pretty well-played game, defensively oriented.
The key of the game right now is the first punt of the game for Okemos. Beautiful punt. Marty Castellan right in position to catch it. Just looked downfield a second too early. A mistake that I'm sure he won't make again. And the ball coming right off his chest and into the hands of the Okemos team. And the very next play, they used that, and they used the momentum from that, took it right into the end zone, 30 yards. That's our only score.
That's true, and despite the way it looked earlier in the game, as Okemos was kind of rolling down the field pretty easily, they have not gotten into the end zone again. 7-0, so Catholic Central has done what I said. They've kept it close, but in the second half, I would look forward to the fatigue factor, particularly on Marty Castellan, starting to cost Catholic Central some scoring opportunities. We've got the Okemos High School band getting ready to put on their halftime show. We're going to hear Mission Impossible. How about that? Here's a series of feedback on TV. That'll be their first song, followed by Hey Baby. And Hey Baby, can you tell me who that song was written by?
No.
I'll have that in a second. And then a medley of Ghostbusters and Axel F from the movies, and then Give Me Some Lovin' at the end.
So here we go with the Okemos High School marching band. The drum major is Jim Fugazi. The assistant drum major, Spencer Mayhew. The flag corps captain is Lori Ward. And the band director is Jim Barry.
We apologize to the band parents for interrupting the halftime show with the marching band, but we want to shed some light on another aspect of life at Okemos High School, and that's the drama program. We have drama director Dee Greenberg with us, and Dee, you've been here for 10 years. You don't think that's a long time?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm just starting.
So everybody knows you pretty well.
Pretty well.
You have a fall play coming up. It's called While the Lights Were Out. And
oh, yes.
I can't tell what happened while the lights were out, can I? And neither can you.
It's a terribly television British show.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And we have also Jamaicans and a few Southerners from the United States, but mostly they're very, very British.
But you're excited about this because you have a lot of veteran theater members in the production.
That sounds like a leading question. Yes, we do. I'm also excited about it because I've spent some time in Britain, so it gives me a chance to work on the accents and give them a very good, strong British feel to the show. The show itself is a farce, so you have very eccentric characters, and you also have a lot of characters who are very devious. There is at least 2 murders in the show. I shouldn't say anything more than that.
Big challenge to produce?
Oh, very, very big. We have 15 characters in the show. Usually in the fall show we have a few less than that, and in contrast to our spring show, in which we usually have at least 100.
Oh yeah, and the spring musical is something we can't talk about. But why don't you give the dates of your fall play?
Okay, the fall play starts on November 17th and 18th, both a Friday and Saturday night, here in the high school auditorium. We have 2 outstanding technical students who are graduates of our program. One goes to Alma now, and the other one goes to Michigan State, and they'll be returning and helping me put the sets together.
And that's got to be good to have that.
Oh, it is.
Well,
it really is.
Best of luck with the production, Dee. Okay, While the Lights Are Out, coming up at Okemos High School this fall. Now we'll get back to the marching band. Okemos football followers are familiar with the idea that Okemos has been one of the smallest Class A schools in the state. That always hurts in playoff time in all the sports. Hard to move on and do very much against schools which are so much bigger. Catholic Central has just moved from C to B, and we're going to talk about that type of thing here with John Johnson, who is the communications director for the Michigan High School Athletic Association, which is the governing body for high school sports. Okay, got all that out. Now, what's the proposal?
Well, there's a proposal, Ben, from the Macomb County Athletic Directors Association to expand the football playoffs from 4 classes to 6 classes here in the state of Michigan, equally placing all 624 football playing schools in the state into those 6 classes, which is a dramatic change from what we have right now.
That is a huge change. You would create the AAA, or what we talked about colloquially as the Super A class. Part of the reason I know has to do with the fact that there's such a discrepancy in school size in Class A.
Well, that is one of the reasons the proponents are really pushing this proposal, is because you can have a disparity of, say, 1,000 students, similar to what Okemos has, to up over 3,000, which Traverse City or some of the Detroit schools. But when you look proportionately, the same thing happens in Class D. We have member schools with 100 students playing schools which have 260 students. So in some respects it washes, in some respects it doesn't.
There are a lot of complications with this idea because you've been used to having the state finals, Class A, B, C, and D, in the Silverdome on the same day. If you have 6 classes, you can't do that in one day.
It would be impossible to play in one day. In fact, we were talking earlier today about having dates already penciled in at the Silverdome for 1990 and 1991. 1990 is when this proposal would take effect if the Representative Council, which is the legislative body of the MHSAA, approves it at its December meeting in Detroit.
And also a problem finding viable playing fields in mid and late November. You'd need, what is it again? You'd need, well, a third as many, a third more.
Well, we would need to come up with 4 additional playing fields for the semifinals alone. So now take that back to 3 other levels of the tournament. You can see that we've got to find some good surfaces to play on, and there's only so many AstroTurf facilities to play on here in Michigan. We run into a real problem in southeastern Michigan because there are no rugs outside of the Silverdome.
Yeah, and that's what you need in that time of year.
That's right.
Okay, so what's your opinion?
Well, right now, if it's what the member schools want, that's what we'll pursue. Like I say, it's a dramatic change from tradition. If you go back and look at the history of the association, it's always been 4 classes, and we could be setting a dangerous precedent here by going to 6 classes. However, if there's any merit to it, doing 6 classes for football makes some sense because it's not an open tournament like we have in basketball, baseball, volleyball, or soccer.
And that's what you're worried about as far as a precedent for other sports.
That's right, because there is an undercurrent out there already. The Basketball Coaches Association's talking about 6 classes for football, so for that sport rather, so football could set a dangerous precedent.
And just to summarize, then, this is a decision that will be made when, in 3 weeks from now?
This will be made on December 5th by the Representative Council of the Association, which is the elected body, sort of like state legislature for high school athletics.
So it's not just a straight vote of all the schools?
It's not a straight vote of all the schools. These are people who our member schools elect. They have their constituencies, and if they have a concern, they know who to contact. Their voice should be heard.
Well, John, thanks for taking some time with us tonight in the press box. John Johnson, Communications Director for the MHSAA, and now we'll get back down to the field.
We're at halftime from Okemos High School. Our score, the Okemos Chieftains 7, the Catholic Central Cougars nothing. Just had a great halftime show by the Okemos Chieftain Marching Band under the direction of Jim Barry. And we'll be back with second half action in just a moment. You're watching Prep Sports 89. Welcome back to Okemos High School. As you can see, the teams are warming up. They've just come out of the locker rooms, and they get 3 minutes to warm up before the start of the second half. Our score again, Okemos 7, Catholic Central nothing. And Ben, our halftime stats show just how even this game is.
Yeah, I don't think either coaching staff is particularly happy with the way things have gone. Although, I think, as I pointed out, I'll say it once again, I think it's to the Okemos advantage to, of course, be ahead, but I mean to get through the first half without being behind. The statistics we have show in the rushing department, 61 yards for Catholic Central, 107 for Okemos, although if you withdraw that 30-yard touchdown run, they're almost even. Nobody's got any passing yards, just the one completion for Okemos, I guess really for no yardage. Time of possession almost equal. Within 9 seconds, 11:51 for Catholic Central, 12:09 for Okemos. 4 first downs for each team, of course. What usually is the big stat when you look at halftime or at the end of the game, turnovers, 1 for Catholic Central, 0 for Okemos. Individually, Castellan, 18 rushes, 59 yards. 2 things about that, Scott. Number one, that's a lot of rushes.
He's been a busy young man this evening.
And I would have thought maybe they'd want to save him for the second half, but they have used him heavily, and he's got to, at some point, show some fatigue. The other point about it, 59 yards, Okemos has done a great job bottling him up. He's had a couple good runs, and the one that looked like a touchdown called back, but he's also had some lost yardage, and that's why it totals at 59. For Okemos, Pete Drizal, 11 rushes, 86 yards and a touchdown. He's having a good night. Matt Snyder not having a good night, 1 for 8, 4 yards. That's a lot different for Matt Snyder than the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago against Mason in a 28-7 victory, Snyder was 8 for 16 for 210 yards and 4 touchdown passes. And then the following week, last week against Charlotte, Snyder 13 for 19, 240 yards and a touchdown pass. And if you add that up, that makes him 21 for 29, 450 yards and 5 touchdown passes the last 2 weeks. But he has cooled down tonight.
Well, the teams are coming back to their respective sidelines now. 35 seconds left in the halftime. You see Okemos coach Keith Freilich talking with Andy Wozniak.
Yeah.
I'm going to get that right by the end of the evening. As we're winding down, we'd like to remind you role models are more important than ever in today's society. You can serve as a role model for others the next time you display good sportsmanship at an athletic event. It's the kind of positive values portrayed by good sportsmanship that everyone appreciates. Good sports are winners. A public service message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association and WELM Sports.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what these teams do here in the second half. You know, one of the Catholic Central coaches told me before the game, we were talking about what the predicted margin of victory would be. Of course, he was picking his own team.
Oh, of course.
But he points out they'd be happy to win by a point, 7-6. And a couple of things that come up. One is if they can get a touchdown, then you've got the overtime period. Or if they can get a touchdown, they might want to go for 2, depending on what point in the game it happens. But, you know, really, in high school, you wouldn't go for 2 because you would just force the overtime and then try it. And in an overtime period, you're in good shape with a guy like Castellone.
Yeah, somebody who can break it like that. But then again, we look at Okemos, and we've seen Drizal break a 30-yarder.
Yeah, they're loaded. Okemos has got no lack of rushing ability. Drizal, who's the primary ball carrier, along with Zeski.
Well, for the first time this evening, we will see James Reynolds kick off. And he's got the ball laying sideways on the ground.
Also a watermelon kick.
Low but long, taken by
Fravel
at about the 6-yard line, heading for the near sideline. Hurdles a couple of men and down at the 35. Brought down by number 66 for Catholic Central. That's Brian Weiss. And I wonder if Brad Fravel runs the hurdles on the track team.
Here's the starting Okemos offense. You can see Jemai Gilbert at end, Miguel Placentia, Brian Rue, Bill Morrison, Mike Lee, Eric Goss, and Steve Dick. And then in the backfield, Matt Snyder, Jeff Zeski, and Chad Howes and Pete Drizal.
1st and 10 from their own 35. Snyder has 2 backs in a pro set, and Wozniak goes in motion. The pitch rather to Drizal, fighting to get around the end, does get a space to turn it upfield. Forced out of bounds by Marty Castellone after he picked up about 7 yards.
You see, they went to that toss play. Okay, here's the defense. Tom Brandel at end, John Neff, Matt Rodebeck, Dan Miller, and Eric Casper up front. Then the linebackers, Brian Weiss and James Reynolds, and in the defensive secondary, Eric Rule, Joe Casmer, Nick Longinello, and Justin Booth, by the way, the coach's son.
Getting a start in the defensive backfield. 2nd down and 3 now. Snyder pitches to Wozniak. On the reverse, this is Fravel. Got room to run. Nice tackle by number 99, Nick Longinello.
You can see Snyder hitting himself on the helmet. He was the one block. He was the one block that didn't happen, the one they needed. Nice execution. First trick play of the game. Of course, they still got their first down.
They still got their first down. They're not unhappy with this.
Okay, here it is in full speed. And you see Fravel getting a good run. Remember, Fravel has that 4.540 speed.
1st and 10 for the Chieftains. Snyder back to pass. He was looking for Andy Wozniak. Covering on the play was number 43, Jeff Maloney. I don't know that Jeff Maloney knew the ball was going to hit him in the back.
No, he sure didn't, but it was Tim Lau, number 54, 6'2", 190-pound senior for Catholic Central. And I don't see where he was coming from, but he put the pressure on. That really made the play because he forced Snyder to put it up early.
So it'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Just underway here in the 2nd half. Okemos leading 7-0. The pitch to Wozniak. Trying once again to get outside. Nothing doing. Catholic Central with good pursuit. In on the pursuit. Number 23 is Joe Casmer. Also James Reynolds coming out from that side of the field.
Also Matt Johnson and Marty Castellon. And it brings up a point, too, about Castellon, because I've been harping on the fact that he's carried the ball so much. He's playing full-time on defense.
That's right.
Just so much you can expect from one kid. And that's the advantage for Okemos with the 43 players, and they're starting different people on offense and defense at all but one position.
Fravel comes off the field. Wozniak lines up wide to the right. Big rush on Snyder, and he'll be brought down, the first sack of the evening for Catholic Central, by number 71, John Neff.
Also Dan Miller in on that play. And this has been the problem, really, for the passing game of Okemos. The Okemos coaches, I know, not happy with the way things went in the first half. Not happy with Matt Snyder, I don't think. Remember those numbers. I just talked 21 out of 29, 450 yards, 5 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. It's got to cool off sometime.
It'll bring up 4th down and 16. So Fravel will punt the ball away. Good punt taken by Longinello at the 15. Heads straight up the field and up over the 25 to about the 28-yard line before he's brought down. That's what you like to see on a punt return. You get the ball, maybe give him a little head fake, but head straight back up the middle of the field because you've got the 2 ends releasing from the line early. Well, they'll be coming from the sides.
It was a good punt return considering it was Okemos kicking. They've been giving up only 4 yards per punt return all year, and that's negligible. That means a lot of nothing.
3 months. She looks really happy.
His receiver catches it, hits him, but now Longinello has a lot of ground to make up and just cannot do it. Gets back up to the line of scrimmage. Back to live action here. Castellon to punt.
He's going for the corner.
Looking for the corner, and he's out at the 1. What a job of punting by Marty Castellon.
Now, this is the situation that Catholic Central needs. They need to get the Chiefs backed up to their own goal line. That's exactly where they are on the 1-yard line.
Now, the Cougars have shown us this evening that they can get in to the Okemos backfield. They have had some good penetration at times. Look for Okemos right here, of course, to just try to power it right up the middle.
I think Catholic Central here is going to start to pressure more from the outside to force the ball up the middle and cut down on the sweep action. And to tell what they're going to do, they're going to watch the guards to pull.
Handoff goes up the middle, picks up a yard or so. We'll have to wait for everyone to clear away to see who it was. Probably Zeski, and it was. And he gets the ball out to about the 4-yard line. 2nd down and 8 now. Okemos, this is the worst starting position of the evening for them on their 1-yard line. Zeski gets the call again. A flag is down.
That's probably going to go against the Chiefs.
He just got it out to about the 10-yard line, getting close to where he needed to be for a 1st down. Got a holding call against Okemos here, which will bring the ball back inside the 5.
It's a question whether they want to take it, because do they want 3rd down or do they want... Oh, this is a tough call.
Well, yeah, this one is a tough decision to make, because that penalty is going to take them back inside the 5, closer to the goal line.
Yeah, well, they're taking the penalty.
Me, I would say take it, keep them as deep as you can, because, yeah, that 3rd down got them out within a yard of the 1st down.
Big decision, though, that they just made, because now Okemos has 2 snaps.
Still have 2 more chances at it.
I just have a feeling they're going to open up on this play or the next. Probably this play. They're not just going to hand off. Yep, some feeling.
And still short of the 1st down. That was Zeski again. Got it up over the 10-yard line to the 11, but he still needs about a yard for a 1st down.
Well, they can get that. I really don't have a... Hey, here's where they're going to run the Veer 33 option, okay? We're going to see the pro set. We're going to see the quarterback, Snyder, with the choice.
You heard it here.
Well, they're going to stick
lining up in the wishbone.
Yep.
And this is Drizal, breaks away. Got it up over the line of scrimmage and then found he had some room to run. Got into the backfield. In on the tackle for the Cougars, Eric Rule, number 81.
You know what happens, Scott? You watch the teams, you try and figure out how they're going to play the game. You get into the big games then with the teams that are equally matched, and all these tendencies go out the window because the execution is neutralized.
1st and 10 now for the Chieftains. They've gotten it out of the shadow of their own end zone. And here goes Zeski. Out into the open field. Good bit of open field tackling by Marty Castellan. Otherwise, Zeski was off to the races.
Well, that was a huge play for the Chiefs. Remember, just a moment ago, they were on the 1-yard line.
And that was close to a 30-yard pickup by Jeff Zeski right there. 4 minutes, 38 seconds left in this, the 3rd quarter from Okemos High School. 1st and 10 for the Chieftains, just across the midfield stripe. Chieftains in a wishbone now. Here goes Drizal, the big sophomore tailback. Gets it up over the 40-yard line, close to another 1st down, and Okemos has a head of steam going now. They're looking at the possibility of a 91-yard drive, or a 99-yard drive.
99, right. Well, are we in Norman? Are we in Norman, Oklahoma right now?
They're showing us every formation on the face of the earth here.
I mean, take it from your 1 and go exclusively to the bone all the way down the field, huh?
Well, whatever's working for you, it's gotten them out of the shadow of the end zone, and they'll stay with it. This is Zeski right up the middle. There's a flag.
That's going to go against Okemos. It was an unnecessary block.
Could be number 76, Brian Rue.
And what I mean by that is, you know, it's a clip, I believe. We do have a man down for Catholic Central. It's a hold. Didn't need to do that. He was... We don't have the number of the...
We don't know who it was that was responsible for it.
Let's start to...
Let's take a look at this again, see if we can find out where the hold came from.
The hold is going to occur. Here we are, down on the playing field with all the Okemos players. Watch as the ball carrier is being tackled. There'll be a hold. There it is right there, 48 to Reynolds. Good call by the ref. I hope everybody saw that. It was right in front of you. and it was a hold. It was really a tackle by an offensive lineman.
Like it was Brian Rue, as we said, tackling Reynolds.
I'm sure he'll rue that play.
Ooh. The Chieftains already have 4 first downs this half. That matches their entire first half output of first downs.
Still, it's only 2nd and 8, and they'll stay with the wishbone.
Snyder on the keeper. You know, I am starting to feel like we're somewhere in Oklahoma or Nebraska.
Well, that is essentially that same option. They can run that out of the bone just as well.
It'll be 3rd down, 5 yards to go for the Chieftains. And the Catholic Central players saying to themselves, what do we got to do? They have played a good game.
Wozniak split. Wozniak is split.
Split wide to the left. Handoff goes to Zeski up the middle. He is really getting the job done on this series. Still on his feet down across the 30-yard line to the 25 before Marty Castellan drags him out of bounds.
Well, I'd like to order a pound of ground round, Okemos style. Wozniak threw a good fake from the split end position there. He's so dangerous, you have to watch him. Oh, now we have an Okemos player down. It's not Snyder. We see him there in the picture. Here's a look at Zeski barreling through, hanging onto the ball, breaking a tackle, heading for the far sideline. He really doesn't have any blocking. This is all on his own. He's heading towards Stan Simmons now. Look out, Stan. Great individual run. We got to see who the player is that's down.
And Stan heard you and got out of the way on that play.
It would have made a great picture. Gee.
Still trying to find out who the injured Okemos player is that's on the ground. They're talking with him. Number 51
is Chad Howes, isn't it?
Mike Lee. 5'8", 170-pound junior.
Starting at guard.
We just mentioned that Jeff Zeski seemed to be doing a lion's share of the work here. On this drive, he has carried the ball 4 times for a total of 55 yards.
Meanwhile, Marty Castellan is doing the Cougars' share of the work.
Tackling Jeff Zeski. When we get back under action, we've got 2 minutes, 44 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Okemos driving. Remember, this drive started back on their own 1-yard line after Castellan's coffin corner punt.
Either way you look at it, both players are the cat's meow for their team.
First down, 10 yards to go from the 25-yard line. Snyder rolling to his right, dives up to about the 20. Now he's starting to carry the ball himself. You know, we've just moved from Norman, Oklahoma to Philadelphia with Randall Cunningham. Second down, 6 yards to go now. He came up just shy of the 20-yard line.
I have a feeling they're going to open up and throw the ball sooner or later. Wozniak there is wide again.
Out of the wishbone now.
There he is. Touchdown.
Looking for Wozniak in the corner. He's got the ball, but a good defensive play by the Cougars will keep him short of the end zone at about the 5-yard line. Castellone combining with Joe Kesmer on the tackle of Andy Wozniak, but you called it there. Set him up for the pass.
Well, somehow they got 2 guys over there, but just how many times can you cry wolf before they'll leave you alone? He ran the same pattern, just slanting down to the corner of the end zone over and over, and then they kept running the other way.
We'll take a look at it here, and Snyder didn't look at anybody else. He knew exactly what he was doing on that play.
It was all set up. But there's the great individual play by Wozniak, because he really was covered decent once he got down there.
And as we get back to the action on the field, there was a flag on that play. Okemos trying to drive the ball.
There's a big holding
over
call.
The left side of the line, and the call will go against Okemos, holding.
That's could be a very critical call as we look back at it later.
That's another thing on this drive, that Okemos really has gone more than the length of the football field now with all the penalties that they've made up.
That's true. You're right. They actually have gained more than 100 yards on this drive.
That'll bring the ball back to the 15-yard line, making it all the tougher for Okemos to get it in.
Of course, now, Scott, really Okemos has got Catholic Central right where they want them. They've gone down on the wishbone, run, and then throw the ball. Now what will they do? They'll stick with the wishbone.
They go back into the wishbone. It's gotten them this far. Snyder keeping, going back, looking for
touchdown.
That was Zeski, a fitting capper to the end of the drive. Zeski picking up so many yards on this drive, and now he gets the cap it off with a 15-yard touchdown reception. Snyder to Zeski makes the score 13-0, waiting on the extra point.
Jeff Zeski has had one touchdown catch throughout this season. That's his second. 7 receptions, 20-yard per catch average. That's pretty good, 20 yards per catch average.
Chris Miller on to attempt the extra point out of the hold of Wozniak. They'll have an offside call on it.
They'll decline it.
It's good through the crossbar. They will decline that.
That's going to be an encroachment, on the defense. There it is. So this will go on to the kickoff. They'll be able to kick from the 45.
Well, no, I'm not sure. If this is before the ball was snapped, they may have to take the penalty. That could be a dead ball call.
There's a new rule that covers this, and it's the most complicated new rule. They are talking to them, as you can see. You see, so there is a choice involved. It's not... But what they might do is accept it and go for 2.
Well, I saw Andy Wozniak was looking at Coach Freilich on the bench, asking him, do we decline? Now they're setting up for another shot at it.
I don't know. Maybe they were just explaining that they had no choice because they are kicking again.
Kick is up, and it should be good. It is. So we've got 1:07 left in the third quarter. Okemos now leads the Lansing Catholic Cougars 14-0. Let's take another look at that touchdown reception.
Take a trip to Norman, Oklahoma here out of the wishbone. Snyder under heavy pressure unloads to his pesky fullback Jeff Zeski. Wide open. Won't even be touched.
Now let's take another look at this from another angle and watch for a near clip.
There he is. Oh, beautiful, coming right out of the backfield. Okay, watch 89. I guess that's what we're looking for. Oh, yeah. Oh, but a good block. That's close. Steve Dick.
He got around in front of him, though.
He still had, he could have gotten him from the left, right on the side, too, and that would have been okay. All right,
nice camera work by the WELM sports crew on that one.
That truly was a beautiful shot. I love that shot. We haven't seen the squib that I've been predicting, and Walensky is only about taking it 3 steps back from the ball. He's going to try and bloop this. We'll watch for Eric Somm, who's next to him. Yep, Eric Somm.
Eric Somm will do the kickoff.
Thank you for the squib.
Taken in the air by 43, Jeff Maloney. And he'll bring it back up to around the 45-yard line.
The squib kick on the kickoffs have been very effective for Okemos this year. I mentioned earlier they've held their opposition to about 12 yards per kickoff return. 12 yards, that's incredible. That's very good coverage.
That's a good stat, because you figure, you kick it into the end zone, they bring it out to about the 20 or so. That's around average. But then again, if you get 12 yards and you pick it up at the 42, you're starting up in the other side of the field. Castellon with the pitch, gets it up over midfield. Well, let's call that 6 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah, I tell you, eat some dust.
Chris Devine, our director, yells, safe.
Chris Miller did a good job there from his strong safety position, taking on the fullback and taking him right out of the play. But Castellon has excellent speed, cutting right to a corner. Not able to turn the corner, though, because of the fact that the fullback was taken out of the play by Miller.
Second down now and 8 to go. Or second and 2, rather, and Castellon gets it up the middle. Look for the burst of speed. Almost got there. But he's met by number 80 for Okemos. That's Bob Rawls. And looked like Kurt Martin was in on that as well. But another first down for the Cougars. And now they are moving the ball with a renewed vengeance.
Well, they're in the power eye now.
The pitch to Marty Castellon, and he is met in the backfield. Sacked by number 20, Chris Miller.
He's been doing a great job all night on that play. It's his job to come in from his strong safety position and take out the fullback. That time he made the tackle. Chris Miller, I was talking earlier, didn't complete this. He went to a football camp, the Winning Edge football camp, and he got the award as Best All-Around Athlete. He's also a member of the National Honor Society, Student Council co-president, chairman of the Student Recognition Committee. He's on the homecoming court. I've run out of time.
It's the end of the third quarter. We'll finish up the Chris Miller story after we take a break for the end of the third quarter. You're watching Prep Sports 89 on WELM Sports. Our third quarter score, Okemos 14, Catholic Central nothing. With fourth quarter action from Okemos High School. Our score at the beginning of the fourth quarter, Okemos 14, Catholic Central nothing. We've got third down and about 13 to go for the Cougars. Pratt back to pass, looking for a diving Longinello. The ball thrown just out in front of him by a hair.
Longinello was fairly wide open, running an out pattern from his tight end position.
Well, that'll make it fourth down, and if we're ever going to see a fake punt by Marty Castellon, this is the place for it to happen. The ball inside the Okemos 40, fourth down, trailing by 14.
They're not even going to fake it.
They're not even going to fake it. They're going to go for it on fourth down. 13 yards to go. Blitz. Pratt back to pass. In a little bit of trouble. Marty Castellon has it. Has a little bit of room to get up some steam. Turns the corner. Look out. First down.
Yeah,
Catholic Central.
Okay, that time we had the linebacker on a blitz. Brad Fravel picked it up beautifully by the Catholic Central offensive line. And really all that was a fake long handoff.
Yep. Sets up the screen very nicely.
That's obviously Castellon's first catch, right?
Well, first for any yardage at least.
Yeah. He's rushed the ball 21 times for 81 yards.
First and 10 now for the Cougars.
Here's Castellon. Does he have the ball yet? Where is he? Can I see him?
Right about
there he is. Yeah, he's just out of your screen. He turned the corner there for good yardage.
And as we get back to live action, what do you know? Marty Castellon with the ball. This time coming to the right side of the line and up over the 20-yard line. Pickup of 3.
We have some third quarter statistics. Rushing yardage for the Catholic Central, 36 yards. For Okemos, 110. Passing yards for Catholic Central, 15. For Okemos, 29. 4 first downs for Catholic Central, 6 for Okemos. Time of possession, 5 minutes for Catholic Central.
And just over
7 minutes for Okemos.
2nd and 8 now. And Catholic Central quarterback Jeff Pratt just got bowled under. Looked like that was Michaels on the tackle, along with Kurt Martin.
This is Greg Michaels' 4th year playing football. He also played basketball for 2 years, baseball for 1 year. He works backstage crew for the school plays with D. Greenberg.
3rd down and 8 now for the Cougars out of the I formation. Back to pass. Looking downfield, interception.
Jay Terrace.
Nice one-handed grab by Jay Terrace. He's up the sideline, got about 3 men to beat. Can't do it.
There are no flags. That was a clean play.
Jay Terrace got 1 mid up in the air, finally brought down by Steve Cherry, an offensive lineman. And Okemos will take over 1st and 10 on their own 43-yard line.
That is is the second interception for Terrace this year, the longest run back on any interception out of the 9, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, out of the 11.
Take another look at it here.
Okay, here's Pratt rolling out. He is really going to try and force this. Left-handed. Look for 33 on the goal line. He's got it with one hand. And now the best part of this play really is the run back. It was a great interception.
Back to live action, we see Pete Drizal got stopped up in the backfield just a little bit and got away from the guys before finally being brought down, still in the backfield for loss of a yard. Let's take a look at the run back on that interception right now.
All right, he's just made it. You can see him right